this was my mistake because you don't have to watch the tower, you have to watch your pitboard. But instead of watch the pitboard, I watched the tower. So I saw one lap, I do one lap, and I celebrate. And obviously, it was still one more lap to do. It was big frustration. At that time, I didn't did any podium in MotoGP at my home track. So I failed. I felt very bad for my team, very, very bad for my team. At that moment, I just want to disappear of the world. You wake up and you try to go for your goal. I always set up big goals, so it's difficult to understand where is the line between the goal and the dream. You know, it's always with the bike. I went out of the garage. I did 2 laps. I came in and I was crying. I felt that I was on top of the world. I was a Suzuki rider, big contract, best sponsors, and suddenly, boom.
Bon les amis, je vous ai pas tout dit. Le lundi 4 mai, pour la conférence sur le thème « Choisir sa vie plutôt que la subir », je ne serai pas tout seul, puisque je serai avec Éric de Seine, ex-CEO de Yamaha Europe, et avec Christophe Guyot, qui a gagné les 24 heures du Mans en moto, et qui est le team manager du GMT 94.
Oui, puis ça a démarré de la manière la plus simple. J'ai vagabondé un peu à Paris, en étant veilleur de nuit, peintre en bâtiment, et puis je me suis retrouvé sur une moto, à être pilote moto, et à devenir manager du GMT 94. Mais tout au long de tout ça, il y a eu un point commun. Un dénominateur qui me prend depuis mon enfance, c'est la moto. Et puis aussi la liberté.
Moto et liberté, chez moi aussi, ça a été des moteurs formidables. Éduqué dans une famille de motards et surtout par une famille d'entrepreneurs qui m'a tout le temps nourri, inspiré dans cette recherche d'une vraie différence. J'ai toujours été convaincu que l'important dans la vie, c'est non pas de savoir théorique, mais de savoir faire. Et je crois avoir la chance d'avoir eu une vie riche, pleine. Et si ça peut inspirer, si ça peut être partagé, grâce à Yann, moi je suis à chaque fois très heureux de ça. Alors on se retrouve le 4 aussi.
Donc lundi 4 mai, 20h, vous allez découvrir ces histoires incroyables. Ça sera une fois, pas deux, en exclusivité. Lundi 4 mai, 20h, théâtre Édouard VII. Et ça sera retransmis aussi en streaming pour ceux qui ne peuvent pas venir. À bientôt les amis. Welcome in the Glove Box, the podcast where incredible personalities from automotive and motorcycle are telling the backstories. By the way, tell us in the comments who you would like us to invite for the next episode. And take just 2 seconds to subscribe to the channel is the best way to help us. Hello Aleix. Hello Thierry.
Hello, very happy to be here.
Hello Jan. Hello Aleix. Very happy to be here.
Thanks for inviting us because we are at your place actually. It's not the glove box place. It's yours. Your, let's say, man cave. We can say that.
Yeah, we can say that. It's like, yeah, I call it my happy place.
Can you introduce yourself, the two of you, just in few words, and then we will obviously talk about your passion and all your stories.
May first.
Thank you, Thierry. So yes, I'm a MotoGP rider. I like also to call myself as a dreamer. I from the beginning when I was a kid, I always have big dreams, and I fulfill basically my biggest one. That was being a MotoGP rider. I think I did a nice career. I have a lot of fun, and proof of that is the place you are here. Is all my heritage. So I'm very happy to tell you my story.
And you, Thierry?
So I'm Thierry MANIGUET, 54 years old, and I should say I'm a passionate man of several things. First, for sure, motorcycle. We will talk later. Human relation. I'm a fan of human relation. Then performances. That's why with my mate, we are quite close in mind. And then for sure, business. So I was, let's say, very young in the motorcycle industry, very young on a bike. So but we will talk a little bit later about that. And then I'm married, living more than 30 years with my wife, having 3 children. So as a normal man, I should say.
And so you're the founder of IXON.
True. The founder and still the CEO of the brand.
Aleix, when you were growing up, what was your background and when and where the passion for motorcycle just grown, you know?
I remember that with just 4 years old, I started to ride bikes. I've been very lucky because when I was a kid, I have a younger brother, 2 years younger than me, that we raced together in the World Championship for many seasons. And we were lucky, both of us, because motos for us were just like football or tennis for other kids was just a matter of playing, a matter of having fun. When we grow up with the bikes, we have many friends that they had a lot of pressure already when they were kids, and they didn't make it to the World Championship, for example, because the pressure they had on the earlier stages of his life. But for Paul and for me, it was like a game. We have a lot of fun, and year by year, it started to be more professional. But at the beginning, was just a game.
So you're just like a kid. You're born next to Barcelona. Your father was a mechanic, I guess.
Yes.
So you're not like from a really rich family, because obviously it's taking a lot of money, this passion. What was your first memory, of, let's say, falling in love of motorcycle?
Yeah, no, at all. I'm coming from a really humble family. My mom and my dad, they had a small workshop. They were mechanics of cars, and we had a bike when we were 5. It was like a game at the beginning. I remember that we start with the enduro. It's similar than motocross, but the father follow you with a big bike, because obviously we were very young. And I remember that after the school, on the afternoons, take my small bike with my father and going to the mountains, follow him. And I didn't realize at that time, but I was living the dream of every kid, with my father. And yes, I'm very grateful of the opportunity that my father gave us, because I know that with time I understood that I never went holidays with my family, never ever in my life. So everything they had, they give to Paul and to me, to be able to do some races and to fulfill our dream.
You were living next from, near from a circuit.
Yeah.
Do you remember a particular moment when you say, okay, I want to be a rider, or I want my life to be that?
Yeah, our school was at 5Ks from Circuit of Catalunya, and I remember perfectly to hear the bikes when they were racing in the circuit, also the Formula 1 cars. But I was not super stressed and thinking about to be a rider. It was just like a game. And when I remember when I was 14 years old, that I arrived at the Spanish Championship, I realized that it was professional, that I had to. It was start to be a job, not a passion, or not just a passion, but also a job. But before 14 years old, it was like a game, not super serious to me.
And you, Thierry, what is the beginning of your love for motorcycle? You have a particular story, actually.
So I should say that I was living from a normal family, and my dad set up a company when he had 24 years old, and unfortunately he passed away quite young, quite early. So I was 6 years old, and years later a stepfather arrived in our family, and he was an entrepreneur, and he was a motorcycle motocross racer. So my destiny was to do soccer. And at 10 years old, so not 4, but 10 years old, I jumped on a bike. And it was a motocross bike, was 80cc YZ Yamaha. And I can't explain that, how the passion hit me at that time. And the story starts like that. And then was another bike. And I have to say at the beginning that it's a huge passion. But when you got talent, you sit here. And when you got only passion, you sit here.
Have you got like a souvenir or a particular moment when you got on the bike and you try, motorcycle?
Okay, let's open that discussion. I was 10 years old, and my uncle teach me how to ride, but he forget some basic things. And was the first day on the track, there was a jump. So he said, please go on the jump. He forget to tell me that you need to grip the bike with the legs. So it happened what should happen. I believe I tried to fly. But I was very young, and maybe from that day, the passion arrived. The pain also for the first day, but the passion arrived.
So basically, you lived from a really young age in an entrepreneur family. So your mother kept the business of your father?
True. My dad had bad situation, like was a leukemia. So during few years, and all the doctors say to my mom, please go on the business. She was not, at first capable to do, or she was thinking she was not capable to do. And she had a kid also to take care. So it was a small company, so had to work very hard. She did. She did a great company. And yeah, the story started like that. And then for sure, my stepfather was also have a company. So I was listening them from 10, 11 years old about their issue with customer, their happiness with customer, their problem of production, their issue with suppliers. That bring me to the place I am today.
Aleix, you just told us that when you're like 15, you were like, let's say, a professional like instantly. So I guess you're growing up like really, really quickly, far away from your family, traveling all the world. Sorry. What's the story at these times?
At that time, you don't realize that you are losing a normal kid life. But I don't have a lot of memories of going out with my friends from, let's say, 14, 15 to 18, 20, which is the normal thing to do for a kids. But with just 15 years old, because now you need 18 to race the world championship. But at that time, in 2005, with 15, you were allowed to race the world championship. I was the youngest one to win the Spanish championship. And then with 15, I did my first year in the World Championship. I was 15 years old. I was a kid. I was really a kid. And I remember traveling all over the world with obviously older people. You have to grow up a lot quicker. Obviously, I realized that, again, it was my passion, but it was a job. I had to understand what a sponsor is. I had to understand what a contract is. So many things that they are not normal for 15 years old. And also, I came, once again, out of very humble family. So everything was new for us, for my father, for my mom. They give their kid to one professional team, and the kid go and travel all over the world. So it was very strange. I think nowadays it's everything a little bit more professional from early days. The riders already, or the kids already with 10, 12 years old, they go to some teams in the national championship. But at that time was like boom, going into the war, no? So it was a big shock, yeah.
So your dream at this time was already to be a MotoGP rider?
It will sound strange to you, but my dream from early ages, when I was 14, 15, was to become father. Has always been my dream. I have a very nice interview in a newspaper in Spain, very famous newspaper, on my first year of the World Championship with 15 years old, and they make me the same question, and I answered, no, I want to be father. This is my dream. And obviously, I always dreamed to be a MotoGP World Championship. I was not able to do it, but I'm very happy because 2 years after of my first World Championship with 17 years old, I met my wife. So more than half life together, and we have 2 kids. So for me, this is my biggest dream.
So you're really a dreams fulfiller, actually.
Yes.
It's your job, actually.
Yes, I mean, I think life is about dreaming. Always. You wake up and you try to go for your goal, and I always set up big goals. So it's difficult to understand where is the line between the goal and the dream. You know, it's always I don't fulfill all my dreams. That's for sure. But I always try to shot very far away, and and I think this is the magic of life.
And you, Thierry, at 20, your dream was to buy a Ducati 996, isn't it?
That's true.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
crazy bike. Yeah.
Come on. I mean, I was working very young, and I had the ARG 80cc Suzuki, my first bike, and then NSR Honda 125. So I was going to school every day. Was snowing, raining. I don't care. I was riding. So we call it passion. And then I got some income, and I was calculating the income, looking at the price of the 996 Ducati. yes, I can do it. So I did it. And then was, wow. Like when you had 20 years old, riding a Ducati 996, wow. And then I realized that maybe purchasing a bike is not an investment. But anyway, we learn day by day.
You have the 996 or not anymore?
No. I sold to one of my best friends.
Okay.
And then I guess he sold already. But anyway.
It was just before the beginning of your entrepreneurship life.
True. I sold that bike. I had 22. Yeah, 22. In France, we got the army. So we had to do the army. So the life is stopped for a year. So I have to stop with the bike and then start another life, let's say, which was entrepreneur life.
So what was the beginning of this particular life? Because it's really particular.
So to make the story short, when you don't know why you are entrepreneur, you don't know why. I mean, rider entrepreneur is very similar. We have dreams. If you are entrepreneur to get money, forget that. You don't do for that. You do because you have goals. Or you have dreams. Then the dreams become goals. So when I had 18, I had the first project, which was a project. Then at 19, a second one. Then at 20, a third one. And during the army, I had the chance to have 1 year to work on a project. And when you are passionate of motorcycle, for sure your brain push you to do it in motorcycle. So that was the first idea. And then I went around the world. So I had no money. Believe me, there was nothing. So I paid some flight to go some factories and blah, blah, blah around the world. And after those trips, said, why not? Why not work in that industry? And at 24 years old, I opened the first company. So that's the life was the same age as my father bought his company. It was not a target, but just the life. And then should say the adventure started.
So you need to convince a banker at the beginning, I guess, to finance it.
Thank you to remind me that. True, because I need some cash to pay the stock and to pay the running expense on the company. And I found one, but after numerous meetings, and I have to say that one was sleeping during the meeting. So at that time I was 23, so he was sleeping. So I mean, you become a little bit anxious. Say, my God, it's because my project is shit, or why? And then one was a young banker that he said, okay, I follow you. So a few months later, I offer him a T-shirt with Superman logo. It was like for me, Superman. And then was my mom, because still missing a little bit. And my mom said, okay, I have some money on the side. If you want, I'll give you the balance, but if I give you 50, I got 50 of the company. What? And she said, you have to learn how a company should be run. And she was true. So it was part of my education. And you don't get anything
For free.
You have to catch things by yourself. That's why, again, entrepreneur rider, DNA is quite close.
Aleix, in 2009, you were like, I guess, 20, something like that. It was quite a harsh timing for you because you had no team. I guess you told me that you were like quite depressed, thinking about, let's say, quitting. What is the stories behind this period?
Yes, so 2008, I was not that bad. I think I finished 11 in the championship with the 250. The next year, I had a contract to have the factory 250 bike, Aprilia, and then suddenly the team stops. They had some financial problems and the team stopped. So suddenly at the first race, I had no team to race. And, when you are at that age, for you, it's the end of the world. It's like you cannot see other things, other opportunity. I was super depressed. I was very lucky that I already was with my wife by my side supporting me and also having my brother. And I remember that my brother said to me, okay, if you don't have bikes, if you want to come with me and to help me on the 125 championship, I will be very grateful. So I started to travel with him, and he almost win the 125 title. And I remember that I realized at that year that life can change from day to night 360 degrees. So when I get a call from a team to do a replacement, I remember that I said to myself, this is the last race of your life, maybe. So you have to go 100%. I raced in Assen. I almost did podium. I finished fourth behind Simoncelli. One of the best races of my career, really, after 6 months without riding. So on that year was very, very important to me to understand that you need to go 100% full, everything you do every day, like it's the last day of your life, because you don't know never when life can change.
So in a certain way, your brother saved your career, actually.
Yes, 100%. Because I remember I was living at my father's house at that time, and I didn't want to go out with my friends. I didn't want to do anything. I had some offers to go to Supersport, Superbike, but I was like blocked. I didn't want to go there. I repeat to myself, no, I need to stay in the 250 or MotoGP World Championship. And I was very frustrated, feeling that the world was against me and I was not right. I mean, was life, was things that can happen. But luckily, I had my brother and I could travel with him. I could, still be in the paddock and get the chance also to do one race in MotoGP in America. I was the youngest rider ever to ride a bike. When I arrived there, I was, what is this? So it was a nice experience at the end. It was a very, very, very fun year.
You were like 22, something like that?
No, I was 20.
20?
I was
Already
20.
20.
Yes.
Crazy.
Very young. Yeah. Nowadays, to see some guy racing in MotoGP with 20, it's quite normal. But at that time, no. At that time, with 19, 20 years old, you don't race MotoGP.
We're talking about harsh time. You had one as well, because you were like, no, you had no money anymore for the company. What was what saved you actually?
True. So again, nothing for free. So when you set up a company, you are not a bank, so you don't print what you need. And at the end of the first year was 1997. Yeah, 1997. The company started, and was December 1997. So my wife went home. It was not my wife at that time, and she went home, and I said in the evening, we have no money anymore. I mean, we can't finish the month. There is Christmas. We can't offer anything, and how to pay the apartment. And that's better. Maybe I stop the company. Maybe better, and I will find again a job, no worries, and we will have a normal life. And she said, okay, we sleep. Let's talk later. Okay, so she came back the day after. I have a solution. Okay, which is the solution? And she said she was working for a big company at the time, and she said every evening from 7 to 10, I found another job. During 2 years, she did that, and she saved the company. So she saved our life, let's say, our financial life. We all have behind backpacks, I should say, and some touchy point. And this is one of the touchy point, let's say, of our start. So thanks to my wife, we can run the company.
And thanks to that, you created IXON maybe 3 years after?
True was 2000 that the company was growing and we need to create a brand. So we created a French brand called IXON. So that started from scratch totally. And was the real start of the company becoming a group. So it's when IXON arrived.
Because before IXON, it was like more like just product, but without any identity?
Was very small identity. So was more product orientated. I'm not saying that with IXON we are not product orientated, but it was more focused on the product 100%, not on branding. And I was a young entrepreneur, so I didn't have, let's say, maybe all the codes. And I clearly understood from dealers, from customers, that we need to improve that part. So it was, let's say, the brand awareness around the product, not only the product. So that's why the reason 2000 we set up the IXON brand.
And you told me that you were one of the first to go to China to understand the way they are doing products. And at the time, there were like no mobile phone, So traveling to China was another thing.
True. I mean, the world is like that. We have to, there is a certain price to pay certain things. And if you want to catch the market, you have to manufacture at the place that need to be. And when I started was before 2000. China was not China today. Was a very close country. Only subcontractor was working there. So when I started, we was working with some big companies. There was subcontracting in China. So I'm not very intelligent, but I have some eyes. And I said myself, why not to go there directly? Why not? Why not? Why I should respect that? So I went. I had at that time 25. I went 3 months in China. But believe me, it was not the China now. Everything was more tough to travel around. And I found some people, again, human relation. And we started an adventure with a woman and 2 daughters. And if we look at now, close to 30 years later, this woman is retired now, is my business mom. And the 2 daughters, I mean, we call each other, let's say, every month. We are not working anymore together, but we are deep friends. So behind business, there is always human relation. Always.
After this really difficult part of your career, you start a little, let's say, a pige in French in MotoGP. You were 20, and then it was like the CRT and open bikes time. Can you explain a bit about that? Because a lot of people don't really understand what is open bike, CRT.
Yeah, I want to say that I like a lot your story, Thierry.
I leave you that explanation.
That's a tricky question.
No, but I like a lot the Thierry story because I always said that I've been very lucky in my life to find my wife. I always said, they always say that behind a big story, behind a big man is always a woman. But I never say it like, like a normal one more sentence. I truly believe this. My wife really saved my career when I was in Aprilia, struggling. I want to retire. I was crying. And without Laura, we were not here today. I will not succeed 100%. So I like that. We can share them. And
I was quite sure that it will
be thankful.
Be important to you as well.
Yeah, it's very important.
You touched a good point.
Yeah, no, but it's true. It's true. I truly believe that everybody applauds my career. Everybody, and I always said I just went on the bike and go full gas. My wife take care of everything in my life, so she's really, really, really important. And regarding that part of my career, I remember that it was like a financial crisis in the world. So there were just a few MotoGPs on the grid. I think 12, 14 bikes was really, really poor grid. So Dorna invented this, let's call it more stock bikes, more close to superbike, were not super performing. And I had the chance to race with that bike. I was very tall for the Moto2. So I got the offer of a Spar, very, very good team, one of the best private teams ever, really. And I have a lot of fun. I learn a lot how to be the best possible version of myself riding, because the bike was very slow. So I had to be always in the limit, always fighting, always very close to crash. I won the two seasons of CRT, and then on the third year of that class, I think it was 2013 or 14, they call it open. The bike were more close to MotoGP bikes. I won again. I finished 6th in the championship with that bike. With was more like a all Yamaha. And then thanks of these categories, I got the opportunity to race for Suzuki. I got my first big contract, first time a factory rider. I remember that was amazing, to be part of such a big brand of like Suzuki. And there really started my story in MotoGP.
So it was the beginning of the big story in MotoGP, and can we say that it was the beginning of your story, your common story?
A bit later.
Yeah.
A bit later. We started together 2017.
Yes,
if I'm right.
So 2 years after, I guess.
True. And our story, we came 15 years ago in MotoGP, and we was looking for at that time as old rider, a senior rider, to give us credibility. So our first big move was with Colin Edwards and riding for Forward Racing.
Actually, we were
at that time.
fighting on the open time.
True.
He was with the open bike in one team. I was with the other, and we were fighting. Yeah.
True. And Colin was an experimented rider because he was a famous rider, winning World Superbike, and was a name. So for us, was a huge challenge to work with Colin. And on the top of that, he was requesting leather suits measurement close to the body measurement with the freedom of movement. So for us, it was like, wow, he's crazy, or so. It was a real challenge. And then,
can you explain just why it's a big challenge? Because in the fashion industry, you have like the let's say the measurement error, the margin is really huge compared to yours.
When you stitch fashion garments, you have 2 centimeter, 1.5 as a stitching allowance on the back of the clothes. On MotoGP, on leather suits, tailor-made one, we have several topics. First is aerodynamics. Second one is security. So if the product move around them, the aerodynamics is bad. So then the rider came straight away, or the team came straight away claiming to you, and they're right. They're looking for performances. And the other one is security. If the leather move around the body when they crash, forget that. So for leather suits, the allowance behind is 2 millimeter, 3 millimeter. So it's not everybody can stitch that. You need know-how, experience, skills to do that.
Yeah, the teams want aero, they want safety, and we want light because we want to be fast. And sometimes we say, no, remove this. And I remember at the beginning, yeah, but if you crash, you're going to burn. I don't care. So imagine for them is to put everything together. It's not easy. Eh?
We had sometimes that discussion together. Aleix was discussing with engineers. So the engineer present him product with a lot of protection. And Aleix said, I don't care that. I want freedom. So finish the meeting, said, are you sure, Aleix? We believe on you. Are you sure? And then we have a debrief internally. He's crazy.
I just learned that you're using like kangaroo leather. I didn't know that before. Why kangaroo?
Since years, it's part of the game in high class leather. The goat leather is usually used for gloves. Cow leather is usually used for consumer product. It's very good skin. The kangaroo is lighter, is softer, and more stretchability. So you can have leather more fitted, lighter, and more comfortable. For sure, the impact on the price is not the same, but for the rider, when you look at the top, when you look at performances, you need to adjust everything. You need to adjust. A leather suit for a MotoGP rider is same as a MotoGP bike, is a prototype. So,
do you remember the first time that you tried to use kangaroo leather?
Thank you to remind me that. So it was more than 15 years ago. It was Xavier Siméon at that time arriving in Moto2. He was a 1000 stock world champion. And he came to Moto2. He came to Moto2 at that time. So we decided to do a kangaroo leather. We made a contract with a tannery, and was a very good tannery. So we made that leather. When Xavier jumped on the suit, put the suits, and then the leather stayed in the hand. When he tried to move up, say, come on. So maybe we don't have the right leather. We don't have. But anyway, we have. When you start from scratch, you learn. You put a rider in the world championship, he will push himself, but will have a lot of crash. And business is same. When you start from a clean sheet, you have to do mistake. We had a collaborator from Italy. He always said, to be on the top is like stairs. Going up is easy. The last ones are tough. Always.
Aleix, when you became an ambassador of IXON, is your mind was thinking that let's grow together with the brand, because you were like quite in the bottom of the grid at this time? So it was your thinking?
Yeah, it's quite a fun story because I was racing for Suzuki. I did the first year with Alpinester and then with a Speedy leather suit. I felt at that time, I was not winning races, but I felt at that time that as a rider, you have a big ego. I felt that I was on top of the world. I was a Suzuki rider, big contract, best sponsors. And suddenly, boom, Suzuki decided to change the riders. Aprilia called me, and I remember, no, I cannot go to Aprilia. Aprilia, they are finishing last in the grid. So I was 1 or 2 months saying, no, I don't care about the offer, Aprilia, I will not come. And after 1 or 2 months, I realized my manager said to me, Aleix, I think it's the best offer you have. You have to think really about to go to Aprilia. So then I started to talk with them. And I said to myself, okay, this is the big challenge of your life. You have to prove everybody that you are not retiring, because I remember to read many things that saying that it's going to be the end of your career, 1 or 2 seasons and you will be at home. And I said, okay, I will show you what I'm capable to do. I signed with IXON. They were also already a big brand, but quite young in MotoGP. They didn't win races in the top class yet. So we started the project together. For sure, I test the leather suits a lot, because I remember the first 2-3 years in Aprilia, I crashed a lot. The bike was a disaster. The team was amazing. They were, they give me, they support me a lot. For them, I was like their Valentino Rossi. I was their star. They really love me. But the bike was not working at all. So I crashed a lot. So I think I was a good test for Thierry and for IXON. And then I think that our story, IXON and Aprilia, go really together, because from 2017 to 2024, we touched the top of the world. We won races. Now IXON is, to me, maybe it's not fair that I say, but to me it's the best leather suit of the world, because it's super light, it's super comfortable, super safety.
I didn't hear what you said. I mean, I was thinking...
No, but it's true. It's not because Thierry is here, but I think after 20 seasons in the championship, I race many brands, and the level that IXON reached in the last, I will say 6-7 seasons is unbelievable. Not to see a brand growing like this is. I always say that to win races or to be part of the success is the best in the world. So it doesn't matter if you arrive the first car, you have a Ferrari, you will enjoy. If the first bike you have a Ducati and you win, is fantastic. But to take a product, to take a project from the bottom and to put on top, I think this is the best flavor in the world.
And Thierry, you told me that a lot of stories, backstories about the improvement of the product. I guess one of them is about the heating of the engine of Aprilia. You were like suffering from the heating. So you were quite angry, let's say, about that?
True. I will reply you in a few seconds, but when we started with Aleix, was everything is human relation. Aleix have a team around, and he have a manager that came to me. We had a chat, and we said internally and personally, I said, I love that man. And then I meet Aleix. So, wow, I love those two people. And the project was a very good project for them, and for us was also a nice project to have a mature rider, again a senior rider. Colin Edwards was going out, so we need to work with Aleix.
Was the first time in a factory team, no, for IXON in a MotoGP?
True. And was not even the project. It's a must. There was no question. It's a must to work with Aleix. It's a must. So then we started, and when you work with athletes like Aleix, they are very demanding, and it's what we need. When you got targets, when you got goals, you have to have somebody pushing you. And Aleix was part of those people asking, but in a very correct way, always. It's much better when they win races, but when they not win races, they are quite more pushy, I should say. But that's normal, that's humans. And we have a lot of story in between. The bikes also change a lot, improve a lot. And they was facing, and Aleix was facing on some hot races, the heat of the engines, but close to be burned.
Yeah.
Close to be burned. You can tell that more than me, but we have some challenges to find some specific fabrics, to develop fabrics in between the skins and the heat to help them to be focused on their performance. Because as soon as the mind is not focused, they lose performance. So
Yeah, I remember perfectly. I mean, I was the number one rider of IXON, and I was very lucky because everything that I asked for, they worked for to try to improve. It was really not IXON fault, but I pushed Aprilia also to improve the engine and the temperature, but they were not able to improve that. So then my second chance was to try to push IXON to develop something to help my skin, because I remember in the Asia races, Malaysia, Indonesia, I was burning myself. The legs, I remember they paint one suit full white legs. We developed the inside fabric completely different, trying to make it cold. It was a big challenge, It was a big challenge to arrive on our goals. And now we have fun, but explaining. But at that time, it was a big challenge.
True.
You just said that at the beginning, Aprilia bike was a disaster. Did you think about quitting at the time?
Yeah, 100%. I remember 100%. I remember being a Suzuki rider, and the first day I jumped on the Aprilia in Valencia, I said to myself, "Oh my God, what is this? It's gonna be very difficult." And I remember the first 3 years, from 17 to 19. The first year you try to push. You are factory rider. They help. They listen to you a lot. So you try to change things. The second season, you arrive and the bike is the same or even worse in 18. So you start to lose a little bit the passions, because the rider want to win today now. So and when you are more young, you are more anxious. And year 3, when I arrive in the pre-season 2019 and I test the bike, and I say, "Come on, this is a joke. This is the same bike of 2 years ago. We are finishing 18, crashing every year." And I remember perfectly. Arrived from Qatar and saying to my wife, "Laura, for me is enough. For me is enough. I'm 30. I was 31 at that time. I think I'm young. I have a lot of ambition in my life. I can go to some other championship. I can do other things. I can open a new, I don't know. But I'm not happy. I'm not enjoying life. And for me, the target in life is to be happy, to enjoy. And I'm not enjoying life. So I'm not here just for the money. So I want to quit." So at that time, Laura said to me, "Yes, but I think you have 1 more year contract. You have to try to be at least professional until the end. You have to prove them that you try to be in your best version ever. And then if you fail at the end of the contract, I think it's fair to stop." And at that time, they signed a new team manager, Massimo Rivola. And
Was from Ferrari, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he really saved everything. I will be always grateful to him. He, at the beginning, he changed completely the way to work on Aprilia. Once again, he believed a lot in me, because the easiest thing was to change the rider and to put another one, but he always believed in me. And 2020 was the beginning of the best four seasons of my life.
I think they did a changement about the inclination of the V4. It was 76 degrees, I guess, at the beginning, and now it's 90.
Yes.
How can it change everything? And the aerodynamics as well, obviously.
This was a big change, obviously. But the first thing he changed was when he arrived, he signed new engineers from every department. He changed a little bit. Let's say that Aprilia was like an old school team working. Everybody was really doing their best, but it was nothing new, always the same. So he changed a little bit the DNA of the team. He bring a lot of strength, and then obviously the new engineers decide to change the V of the engine. He signed for first time He created actually the aerodynamic department. I remember that I was a lot of time during that winter in the wind tunnel for first time, and everything changed. I remember perfectly. One of the most shocking moments of my career was the first lap I did in Malaysia 2020. With the bike, I went out of the garage. I did 2 laps. I came in and I was crying. I think maybe it was one of the only times in my career that I was crying after a couple of laps. I entered to the garage and I said to the guys, "This is amazing. I will fly with this bike. This is another story. It's not an Aprilia anymore. It's another brand,
That's the real beginning.
This is the real beginning. And that season, I didn't make any podium in 2020, but I finished a lot of races in top 10. I finished, I think, 9 in the championship. So it was the beginning.
It is this time just before that you start the cycling as well to prevent from crashing in your head before the reborn of Aprilia.
No, actually, I started cycling in 2017, 18, so a couple of years before of 20. I remember perfectly that I was struggling a lot in MotoGP. So I discovered cycling as not just a tool to be fit, but also to be fit on mentally, because I went out and I do some mountain bike races, and it was not an excuse. It was your bike and you. The guy who was winning the Tour de France had the same bike than you. The guy that was training with you, more strong than you, had the same bike than you. So it was no excuses. I pushed myself into the limit. I was very happy training, and it changed really my life cycling also.
Thierry, have you got other stories about the improvement of product? Because let's say that the suit is perfect, but the gloves, I guess, were not at the same level.
True. Before that, Aleix said an important point. He was crashing, but nobody realized the numbers of crash they are suffering in a year. When on the bad season, Aleix, he was
sure.
crashing 25,
Even
28,
more, yeah.
30.
Plus the test, so
Wow.
a lot.
So, I'm always in admiration of how they handle the crash. Because, you or me, we crash. Same as they do. We go to hospital.
At that time, we didn't have the airbag.
True.
Yet.
How can you be safe compared to us? If we're crashing like, let's say, 30 times, I'm sure that we are really in the bad shape.
We should not be here today or in hospital. No, we are not, for sure. Their way of training, their way to be supple, they act in a different way. Because a crash, on TV, people sitting on sofa, we are all sitting on sofa looking at, say, oh, it's a crash. No, that's tarmac. And when they crash, my God. We'll ask you later, but the pain and how the brain, how you act, wow. But anyway, these can go to 30, 32, crash in a season. Wow.
Do you think your brain is different than ours?
No, what I think is that it's like if you now start to race World Championship the first year, for you will be a big shock, everything. The first crash, you will be the end of the world to you. But we grow up from 5 years old, motocross, then at 10, you start to go to some road circuit. Then you go to 125, you do some crashes, 250, more crashes. So what for the people is something really crazy, really extreme, for us is part of our job. You always try to have the best equipment. A lot of riders still, they look, which, you can understand. They look for the money, and the safety is not that important. To me, this is has been not a point in my career. I always try to have good brands with me because I know how important it is when you crash. And I have many examples of other mates that they have more injuries than me. So to have good equipment is good, very important. But at the same time, the rider need to understand that this is part of the job. You cannot be angry, you cannot be upset, you cannot pretend to not crash. No, this is part of your job. And you have to accept it because you have many good things, but one of the worst ones is the crash and the injuries.
But how you handle Aleix? Because sometimes on Sunday morning, we chat together and Aleix got injured. I'm not sure I will race today. I need to go to the Clinica Mobile. But I'm always wondering how you spend the night.
Yeah, it's true.
Because, if it happened to me or happened to us, we should call our mom, we should call our wife, we should call to everybody. We have pain, we can't ride, but you are on the bike the day after. How you handle that pain?
Yeah, I raced in my career many times with big injuries. To me, in my life, the most important is challenges. I love challenges. So sometimes in my career, when I had everything perfect, everything good, I didn't really be in my best version. And when I have some injury, I have some problem, I say to myself, I will prove them that I can race. I can do it. And it's part of our job.
And you sleep during the night?
Yeah, you sleep during the night. You get used to it. I always have my wife with me, so I disconnect a lot. You have your motorhome. You try to, yes, it's part of. Sometimes you don't sleep, but it's part of the job.
Because I remember you sometimes with the ankle or the
Yes.
arm or the hip totally blue.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah. With the ankle, I suffer a lot. The last
True.
2 years last year in Aprilia, I broke my 2 ankles when I was fighting for the title. I remember I couldn't walk. It was impossible for me to walk. And I remember my Massimo Rivola saying, Aleix, you cannot race, no problem. You go next one. I say, no, I will race. And I finished 7th in Silverstone. So with the 2 ankles broke. So I remember now and I say, you were crazy, but it's part of, our job.
And to reply to your question, in our development with Aleix have always been straight, fair, and humble. So when Aleix feels somebody is on the top, he said, this is on the top. No change to me. And if something is not on the top, he have the same attitude. That's not on the top. I want you to improve. So we achieve the leather, all the body, and Aleix said, your gloves are good, but are not at the level of the suits. So work on it. We work, during races and races, season after season, we bring to Aleix, and sometimes we ask Aleix, please give us a glove. Give us a glove, or for the 2 fingers, or to understand where they are better. And I guess 2 years ago, last year, I don't remember, Aleix said, done.
This is the glove. Yeah,
this is the glove. This is the glove.
What is the main things on the glove to be comfy, to be fast, to be
Flexibility. In the hand is very important to have good feeling. For them, it's difficult, because when you crash, the first thing you do is to put the hand on the asphalt. So I understand perfectly that Thierry and all the IXON team doesn't want to see that I have blood on the hand, that I have. So for them to find the compromise is very difficult. But for the riders, nowadays, especially, or the last years of my career, we had obviously the throttle, the brake, the clutch, but now we have also many buttons to touch. You have the rear high device. You have many things, so that you need to move the fingers super comfortable. And as harder is the glove, more arm pump you have. So it's a big consequence, the gloves. So it's very, very important. And I remember that from 2000 and I will say 20, let's say 20, the IXON suit is the best of the paddock because it's the lighter one, the more comfortable one. I remember talking with my mates on the safety commission, or they are not able, still today, they are not able to put a new suit for the race because they need to use a couple of sessions on the practices because at the beginning it's not comfortable. I don't care. If Thierry or the racing service give me a new suit for the race straight, I go, it's no problem. So at the beginning, when I explained this to the other riders, they say, no, it's not possible. I say, yeah, it is possible. But the gloves were not at that level, I had to use a lot the gloves. I remember that my gloves were completely black, super used gloves with some holes. And they say, you cannot use these gloves anymore. I say, yeah, I need to use because they are very comfortable. So, finally working with the gloves, we improve. But it's difficult, yeah.
We got 2 opposite mindset for that. Ryder and Aleix want the flexibility. We want to protect them because we believe always that they have a championship to run, and it's not only one race, it's a championship, so we have to protect them. We do close to protect riders. And as Aleix said, there is a crash that they can damage the palm side, but there is also another crash where the hand can be stuck between the tarmac and the bike. And we are focused on that. And I remember one meeting together with the engineers. So we present to Aleix, that protect in that case, I don't care. I want flexibility. Come on, Aleix, please cool down, calm down.
racer obsession?
Yeah, and we understand that. We understand that vision, and Aleix is right. There are 3 major fingers that they are very important for them. Those 2 should stay on the handlebar, I should say. And the other one, with all the buttons they have, need to be very flexible. That's true. But then when you talk about flexibility, what is the right compromise with protection? That's always the point. And this is very sensitive per rider. Every rider got a different point of view because that's totally personal. So that's a challenge always. But we did it, I should say, together.
No, and it's very. I love now I'm test rider, and I love my job to develop the Honda, to improve, to understand which direction we have to go. And with our material is the same, because they do a glove, okay, like standard glove, and then every rider needs different things. So, for example, I don't like protection here. Some others they put some carbon, some others they put more skin. So to work with a brand like IXON is cool because everybody can have their own gloves, and for example, Miguel Oliveira or Brad Binder gloves is not better than mine. They are just different. So to have a brand like them, it's good because everybody can have their product. Obviously, the safety matter, but everybody is comfortable.
And we have to take in consideration on top of that the injuries, the past injuries. Some have the finger broken or fingers, the small finger totally burned. So it's very sensitive. So the finger should not have the same construction as the other one. So that's we call tailor-made. Tailor-made
No,
gloves.
and in the other hand, obviously you have your measurement, you have everything, but then suddenly I arrive in one race with arm pump operation, and I go to Laura from the racing service, and I say, Laura, I want one arm 3 centimeters bigger. So they have to, in 12 hours, 24 hours to do it, or I don't know, I remember crashing during a practice, destroying a couple of fingers, and they have to do one glove one size bigger. So this is a challenge, and I think this is the beautiful part of our sport, that you have to be quick, you have to adapt, you have to. I think to do products for the street, that we have very nice products, it's nice, but to be part of racing, to be part of this adrenaline, I think this is the best.
We call it focus on performances.
Yeah.
And those products are not available for regular people like us because it would not be possible to produce them because of the price, because of everything.
For many reasons, you even industrial side, you can't duplicate that product. Price issue. It's same as if we want to buy a MotoGP bike. That's impossible. That's prototype. So
I think that if the people, I know you don't want to show it, but if the people see what is the leather suit today, and I'm already 36, so I started the championship 20 years ago, and it was a piece of skin. I mean, nothing. And today you cannot imagine the technology we have on the suit. It's unbelievable. You have a lot of things, a lot of electronic details, it's unbelievable. The improvement is crazy. It's crazy.
And talking about suits and the technology, you have like a little backstory with Maverick Vinales about the weight, I guess.
I think our competitor will not be very happy, but
we should not mention the competitor.
But we say this is the truth. I remember that I convinced Maverick to join us in Aprilia when he was in Yamaha winning races and to join our team. When he ride the bike for first time, he was like, and that bike was not that bad already. I was on the podium, but he was coming from Yamaha. So he said, wow, what is this bike? I mean, I don't understand how you do it. I don't understand how fast you are. So at that time, he started to really take care of all the details of his equipment, everything to try to match me, So I remember that we went on the wind tunnel. We went in the scale before to jump on the bike. And he was like 2 kilos heavier than me, 1.5 kilo heavier than me. And he's a lot smaller. I said, it's not possible. I'm super fit. I said, no, I'm more fit than you. No, not possible. And then he weighed the suit. And my suit was, I think, 1.6 kilo lighter than his suit. And he said, it's not possible. I said, yeah, this suit is amazing. Yeah, but it's not possible that you are protected. And I cannot remember the next race where it was, but I think it was Le Mans Corner 1. I'm not sure. You can find that crash. You can put on the video Le Mans Corner 1. I crashed at more than 300. One of the biggest crashes of my career. And I came into the garage with no burn nowhere. And then he realized, okay, I think your suit is in a really high level.
He's still shocked, I guess.
I hope so. I hope so. But no, that's 100% true. And having for Aleix, having that compromise, and for all the riders, having the compromise of the weight and the security is part of the challenge that a brand like us should achieve. Because MotoGP, from the TV, we don't realize that, but the team, they are working on grams, 10 grams, 20 grams, 50 grams. So when we talk about 1.5, 1.6, he changed everything.
It's
And
1/10 maybe.
we got on
I
the
would
racing
say
service.
maybe 1/10 per lap. 2-3 kilos is 1/10 per lap.
1/10 per lap.
And in 1/10, sometimes you can be in pole position or P3 before.
Yeah, it changed everything.
Yes.
Oh, he changed. Yeah.
That's crazy.
So on backstage, they are looking for on the speed, on straight line, the speed on corner, everything. If we have to adjust for the aerodynamics, the hump, or any small details that can help them to perform. Because a sense or 1/10 is 1/10 for sure.
I remember also one funny story that I think in Aprilia, we start to work when Arrival arrived with the aerodynamic team. So at the beginning, we improve a lot with aero and everything. And in certain point, they believed that MotoGP, it was a Formula One, or that we're going to go into the moon flying. So they were over and they tried to develop like some aero, something aero here. I couldn't move. I remember they developed some plastics here. And when the Aprilia gave me the letter, so I say, I cannot ride with this. I mean, this is not a car. I cannot
You were like a robot.
move my leg like a robot. But it was the beginning of, of trying new things. And if you check now, our knee is super aerodynamically. So also our shoulder super aerodynamically. So, I mean, it's always a process.
The story at that time, that's true that Aprilia was during Aleix were there. There was new engineers for aerodynamic, and they was really pushy for that. So we was part of that. We set up patent, but their logic was the aerodynamic with the biker on the bike to help the speed. So we have to add some appendix on the side of the leather and up to certain limit.
Yeah, it didn't work, but was nice try. You never know. If somebody explained to you that you will push a button in the bike when you accelerate and the bike will drop the rear suspension, you will say you're crazy. And now we're using it. Luckily, we banned for next year. But you never know in the industry. You have to always be open mind, always try new things, always. Yeah, you never know. And
when you got a testing session, I mean, you have so many things to test. So that's hard for them also, because there is the bike, there are many things. And then with the leather, we ask them to test many things. And if the test is going well, got some chances. If not, for sure, he got stress. And then, no, that is not comfortable. I don't want that. So that's always that challenge. And to work on innovation. And that's not an easy job. I mean, when you do testing, wow, you have testing on tire, testing on exhaust, on engine, on plus leather suit, and plus gloves, and maybe plus helmet.
Yeah.
What's your memory from your first podium and the first of Aprilia in Silverstone? It's the timing where you became El Capitano, I guess?
I think the story of El Capitano, it started a little bit before, because when you start to achieve good results, I will say that it's a little bit more easy. But when Massimo arrived in 2020, the results still were not the best. But it's I always believe on my team. I never change one single person of the team. I never talk bad of any person of the team. I always said that the bike was not competitive, because you have to call the things by their name. If the bike was not competitive, if the engine is not reliability, you have to say it. You cannot hide it. But I always believe a lot on my team. This is why Massimo said that I was El Capitano. And the first podium in Silverstone was amazing, but especially the first victory. I remember the first victory. I was extremely happy for everybody in Noale. Today, everybody wants to go to Aprilia, the engineers, the mechanics, the riders. But I remember when I signed to Aprilia, we were finding some suspension engineers, some mechanic. Nobody want to go. Nobody want to come. Nobody. They had the smallest salaries. It was the small team in MotoGP, so nobody want to join Aprilia. So when we start to do podiums, win races, and then everybody start to look to us. Okay, this is not the Aprilia of before, and I think this is the best feeling ever.
So the first victory, I guess, you shared the podium with Jorge Martin, I
Yes.
guess. So he was already a close friend from you.
Yes.
Was a particular moment because of that as well?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I remember that race. I was a lot faster than the other riders. I mean, but I never won before. So I think if it was another rider on my position has won that race with 10 seconds because I finished first in every session. I did the pole position by half second, but on the race I was shaking. I was shaking, and I repeat to myself that morning, "You are the only one who can lose that race." So I was a bit nervous. And then I was fighting with Jorge, and it was amazing also to share the podium with him. But for me, it was very difficult race, because the first victory is always very difficult, and also was the first victory for Aprilia in his story. So yeah, it was a very special moment.
So after that, there were a lot of special moments, good ones, and maybe, let's say, more difficult ones. Now we have like some distance, but I'm thinking about Catalonia, obviously,
Yeah.
2022. The first episode, let's say, because they were like a second one. What is the story behind it? Because obviously there were a lot of press around it.
Yeah, you mean that when I miscalculate the laps, no? Yes, in Barcelona there is a big tower that is really helpful for the riders, and they put the laps on top, and when there is the last lap is 0, so you cross the line 0 and you do 1 lap. So when it's 2 laps to the end, it's 1 lap. So instead of watching, this was my mistake because you don't have to watch the tower, you have to watch your pit board. But instead of watch the pit board, I watch the tower. So I saw 1 lap, I do 1 lap, and I celebrate. And obviously, it was still 1 more lap to do, and it was big frustration at that time. I didn't did any podium in MotoGP at my home track, so I failed, and I felt very bad for my team, very very bad for my team. So it was a very one of the most difficult moments.
So you were like ashamed, you were like crying, I guess. You were like...
At that moment, I just want to disappear of the world. Once again, my wife saved me. I remember going to the motorhome and I couldn't stop crying. It was not possible to me. And my wife say, "Please take a shower and we go." I say, "Where are we going?" "Yeah, we go." And we go to the car. It was 1 hour after the race. And she sent a message to Massimo Rivola and said, "Massimo, Aleix will skip the debrief. We'll come back tomorrow because was testing on Monday." And I remember perfectly, we go to the cinema together to eat some popcorn, some candies. And once again, she saved me, yeah.
But you let's say you had your revenge because with the 1 more lap, you put it on your helmet, I guess.
Yeah.
And you took your revenge and win in your, let's say, home GP.
Yes, I think the best thing in life is try to have fun always. Obviously on the difficult moments, try to don't be super stressed. And 1 year after, I say, okay, I'm gonna have fun of myself. I will do 1 special helmet with 1 more lap, like this I can remember. And I was super focused, trying to change completely the story of the year before. I do the pole position. I won both races. I did was the best moment of my life forever, not of my career, but of my life. Being in the podium with my 2 kids in front of all my crowd in my home circuit. Imagine to be on the top of the podium with my daughter and my son was unforgettable moment.
Yeah, Laura SP from Racing Service told me that it was a really marking moment. The podium with your twins.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing. And I remember also the president of Catalonia giving the trophy to my kids, everything. I rewatched the images, and yeah, I would love to be able to live it again because it was crazy.
We were talking about crash. You had like a really big crash in 2023, I guess.
Yeah.
What was the your let's say your mind at this time when you had such a big crash like this?
It's part of your job. So the thing is that the rider, instead of thinking about the normal thing will be, okay, let's see how I can recover because I'm still 30 years old. I have a long life in front of me, but you don't care about this. You just think, I need to jump on the bike again. I'm fighting for the title. I need a big suit for my leg. I need a big glove for my hand because I need to ride tomorrow. And you get used to it. But yes, especially the last 2 seasons, I had big injuries on the hands, on the knee, both knees. But yeah, it's part of your job, and I think it's the bad things of being a rider, but it's okay.
I was thinking about the one in Jerez.
Yeah.
It was a really, let's say, marking one for you, isn't it?
You mean the 20? But this was the 24 season.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, 24 season. It's not. It was not the biggest crash of my career, but I felt already in my inside of me that winter that I didn't have the fire anymore. And to me, this is the most important thing in life: the passion, the fire. So I said just to my wife, not even to my best friend or my manager, just to my wife, I'm not sure if I'm fair with Aprilia, trying to extend my contract because I think I don't have the fire inside anymore. So I don't want to be here, even if they give me a big salary, if they to Aprilia, to my sponsor, to IXON, because I think I don't have the fire anymore. But okay, I start the championship, and then in race 2 in Jerez, I have big crash. I race in motorhome. Laura was not at that race, and I remember perfectly. It was in the sprint. I called Laura. I said, I have a big crash. These kids are crazy. It was dump track, and they are full gas everywhere. They don't care. I had to do the same, and I have big crash. So Laura, I think this is a proof that I have to stop. And he said, if you are sure, you stop. I said, yeah, I'm 100% sure. And the race before Jerez was America, and I said to my manager, Albert, this is the end for me. No discussion. I think I feel inside that is the end. So please, I need new challenge. Talk to Honda and Yamaha, that they are the biggest brands of the paddock, because I want to work again with the Japanese as a test rider. I need new life, and this is the end. And I remember Albert saying me the same. But you are still fast. You are still capable to win races. You have a big contract here in Aprilia. You can extend one more contract. I say, yeah, Albert, but I don't feel the fire inside. I need new challenge. I need life is too boring to me already. So I need something new.
And Aleix will never say, because it's not in his way of thinking, but people need to realize that a crash, they can get up to 25, 26, 28 G.
Yeah.
Well, that's huge. That's huge. So that's have for sure an impact on their body, on their brain. And,
sometimes, you are right. The biggest impact is in your brain. Because on that crash, I had no injuries, really. But it was a big one, and it was like a signal to my brain to say,
true,
it's enough.
We can see on Thursday, because Aleix and the rider came on Thursday to test product, and we can see if the weekend is not the body who talk, it's the mind. Yeah. Always.
Yeah, I'm always confused about the brain, the thinking that you have at this time, because I was thinking about the one in Thailand. It was 2023, I guess, if I remember well.
Yes,
you have a big one, and you went straight to the racing service just to go back on the bike.
Yeah. I mean, this is why some crashes are harder than the others, and sometimes it's not just related on the injury, but some crashes are like signals to your brain, and some others are just one more crash. The one in Thailand was huge. I spent all Friday in the hospital, and I remember that I tried to jump on the bike on Saturday, and I was dizzy. I couldn't ride, so it was a very hard one. But yeah, some crashes affect you a lot more in the physical, and some other more in the head. So yeah, it's part of it.
I guess even Jorge Martin was worried about you for this one. He was like almost really emotional. I mean,
Yeah, we were together. So he saw the crash, and it's a huge one. When you hit your body, I mean, you can have some pain in some part of your body, but you can ride. But when you destroy your helmet, and it was that case, I destroyed completely the helmet with the ground. You have to be more careful. Really, you have to be more careful. Today, also the helmets are really, really good. But anyway, the head, you have no replacement.
is there like some commotional process, like in rugby, for example, when you have such a crash?
Not really, because it's really difficult to understand how big is the impact. We have a really good doctors, and you can go and do some scans. But as soon you have like this vision, you are not able to race. So it's very important that you are fair to the doctors. If you have, once again, a lot of pain in one foot, a lot of pain in one arm, you will be slower, but you can ride. But if you have dizzy vision, for example, it's dangerous for you, but it's also dangerous for your mates, because you can hit them. And especially in Thailand, it was very, very hot, very hard conditions. So I decided to stop.
In a, let's say, a better way better point of view, how did you leave the victories, the first victories of Aleix in Aprilia? Because you were like starting
not
from
in
the
Aprilia,
bottom.
in IXON also.
Yeah,
It was the first victory for everybody.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
We call it the cherry on the cake. We have goals, but it's not on our hand. So we don't put pressure. I mean, Aleix, you can say that we never put pressure to win a race. It's part of a common story. We are all focused on performances. So when the real top performance arrive, we are all very proud. So on my position as a CEO, it's just, what's up? Well done, mate. Focus on the next one. Very simple. Just a simple message to Aleix, and that's it. But behind the scene, it happened to us that we win on MotoGP during a weekend, the same weekend in Moto2. When we come back on Monday, okay, champagne. Champagne with the people who win all the workshop, for sure, because it's also a sign for us that here we are. For Aleix, he's here, but we are here also. We are part of that success. Just a small part, but we are part of that success. So a little bit proud, and a little bit proud for him also, and just a text.
No, but believe me that you can really believe me that I was very happy for myself to win a race. But really, my life didn't change. I had my life, I had my contract, I had my wife, my kids. But you cannot imagine how proud I was, because it was the first victory for Aprilia. So you cannot imagine the faces in the garage. You cannot have an idea, because if one rider win with Yamaha, with Honda, with Ducati, they won 20 races before. So yeah, they are happy, they drink champagne, but the faces in the garage of Aprilia, you cannot imagine. And everybody in IXON, I can imagine, the headquarters, the first victory. That year I also signed for Kabuto, a Japanese brand, very old Japanese brand, but they never win a race in MotoGP. So to win race for first time for them, you cannot imagine how proud you are as an athlete, to be part of the story. Because yes, now IXON can win 20 titles of MotoGP, I hope, in the future. But the first victory, it will be always the first victory. Also the Aprilia, also for Kabuto. So this is something that I'm very proud of. Yeah.
And it's a sign for everybody that you are at a certain level. And we're always proud of that, always. And that's true that the next victories, that's a cherry on the cake. But when you eat a cake every day, it's not the same taste.
It's true. I like
it's
this
not
one.
the same taste.
We were talking about Jorge Martin. What is the backstory behind your bromance, if we can say that?
Yeah, Jorge, it remind me a lot to my story. He's coming from a very humble family. He was 17 years old, and he came to live here in Andorra because his manager was the same than me, Albert. He was alone in the country. He was really a kid. So he come to my house with my wife, and at that time I felt more that he was like a son. Then become more my brother, my best friend. But at that time was more like a son, and we grow up together. He learned a lot of things of me, to be really a family man, to be a hard worker. but luckily he has a lot more talent than me. Luckily for him. So he's a really, really talented rider, but also he learned that he need to work very, very hard, and we share many, many things together. And yes, I'm very happy. I have a lot of fun with him. Yeah.
And about your real brother, I mean, Paul, you told me that you learn a lot from him because he's got like quite unlucky about injuries and stuff. And you told me that he was more talented than you, I mean, on the bike, but you learn a lot of enjoying life because of what he been through, actually.
Yeah. I mean, with Paul, I suffer more than I enjoy, really, because he had a lot of injuries during his career. Actually, he had 3 years ago a big one. He almost died, really, in Portimao. Was a huge one. And also was the year before that I retired, was one more signal on my brain and one more alarm. And I suffer a lot with him during the career because even on the best moments, because he became world champion, but even in the most beautiful moments, you are always suffering, expecting some crash, so to share the championship with him was suffering. I really enjoyed some battle with him on track, but you know that the love that you have for your brother is super special. So you suffer a lot when he crashed, when he have an injury, and it was quite strange to race with him during my career.
And do you think that when you saw him like quite well after this big crash, it reinforced your will to retire as well, to enjoy all the
Yeah, it was one more signal. I suffered a lot with him when he was more than 2 months in the hospital, and I realized from that moment I always, it's part of my DNA to have fun always in my life. But also that moment remind me that the life is short, that you have to have fun, that you have to really live every day as is the last one. And yes, the year after the crash of Paul, I decided when I decided to stop racing was because I believe that I'm young. I know that I'm not super young anymore, but inside of myself, I believe that I'm young, that
You're still young.
that I can do many things in my life. So yes, I mean, MotoGP is a fantastic sport. I love MotoGP, but we have to be fair. It's very dangerous. It's very dangerous sport. So I'm very happy to be able to decide when I want to stop. And unfortunately, Paul was not able to decide because he had a big crash, and he was forced to retire because he had no strength on half part of the body. So one of the reasons on the the crash of Jerez that we were talking before was that when I say to Laura, now I can I'm fit, I'm healthy, I can decide, I can prepare a very nice last season, very nice last race, big party. So it's always important to understand what you want to do.
Thierry, how did you live this retirement moment announcement? Because it was really touching. I mean, from my point of view, and for you as well, I guess.
The announcement was not new. I mean, we had chat before, so we understood where the mind of Aleix come from and where he wants to go. So we was prepared on that. We was not happy or not supporting that because we believe that he can push again. But it was his decision, and the sensitive moment was his official retirement. The official one was during a race, during a weekend. There was everybody there, and he's a very good man. And he said previously that he's so proud for his partner. And that day, there was many people there, many people, and he did what he had to do. And at the end, many people came to him, talking to him. And I don't know if you remember, you came to me. So it was an emotional moment, and he said, I will always remember that. So that's a very epic moment for me. He said, Thierry, since I'm with you, I'm flying.
It's true.
So it was much more than that for me. I mean, there was 100 people around, and Aleix took 1 minute to come to me. So I was so impressed about that, and I got admiration for you since years. And that moment, I will explain to my kids for sure. For sure. It was a very important moment to me, I should say. So thank you, Aleix, for that.
No, but I truly believe about what you say about the person's emotions. We call, I mean, at the end it's true also, but we, the athletes, we call sponsors like IXON or the helmet brand or the drink. But I don't like so much the name sponsor because it's partner of life. They take care of that I can come back on Monday to stay with my kids because he take care of my safety. Also the brand of the helmet. Aprilia is doing, or Honda now, the best bike to me to win races, to get more money, to be more happy with my family. So it's not really, I don't like really sponsor. To me, IXON is not sponsor, it's partner of life. We achieve something together, we grow up together, and I give visibility to him to improve his business. He gives safety to me. So, it's sponsor is quite not the right word, really.
And that's...
Partner maybe is better.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. That's why, I mean, we work with Aleix during years and finished the career, but we are still together. We are still enjoying together. And until the end of our life, we will be together. And we have similarity with some other riders that are with us since years and years and years. So it's more than having also on our side just a contract with the rider. Is much more behind, much more behind. And that relation is always amazing. And Aleix or the other have requests, are pushy or not pushy, but at the end again is human relation. We believe in ourselves or not. And we had that chat sometimes that we had difficulties in our process together, but we believe each other or not. That's it. And when we believe each other, we can go through mountain.
Yeah.
We can go through.
So now you're testing for Honda, you're testing a rider. How did you do to do like a suit from Aprilia colors, I mean branding, and to Hondas? They were like a kind of transition, let's say?
Oh, for us, it's quite easy. It would be more a biggest challenge if he get 20 kilos weight more. So that should be a challenge. But on the colors, I mean, he's the boss. So they set us, and behind the scene, I should say the team, came to the brand, came to us, and they said that we have to do leather for that timing, with that leather, with that design. And then you have official confirmation from the X team that they will hand the job at that time. So you know that you need to deliver suits up to a certain date and you have to start.
I was more thinking about, the transition suit, the El Capitano, the white one. What is the story behind it?
That's Aleix decide that. And the boss of the design is always the rider. And Aleix and his wife, they got their own way of thinking. They got their own way. Wow. But always with a mindset. Always they have a line that they want to respect, they want to express to the fans. And we was always in admiration. We 100% follow Aleix, always. So either Aleix send a design by hand or by computer, or either we submit. He gave idea first, we submit the design. But that's true. That's true that you always have your mind of what you want. And that's, for us, that's amazing always. We don't need to talk hours. He knows what he wants.
The best design I remember that I had in a IXON suit was, I have many, but I remember when my kids were born, they were like 1 or 2 years old, and they take a paper, white paper, they put their hands with paint, color paint, and also Laura's hand, they put the 3 hands, and I say to IXON, I would like to put the 3 hands on my ass of the suit, and I raised all the last seasons with that logo, and it's not one more design, it's something more, it's like you have your family with you, on board on the suit, on a super professional world with super big sponsors, a lot of companies, and then you have the hands of your kids in the ass of the suit. So it's
it seems to be like a kind of hair bubble in a really harsh world,
Exactly, which is very important. Yeah.
And I remember I didn't see the design. I was passing through the workshop in the headquarters. I said, "What is that?" Some kids came here, or I mean, you do painting? What is that? I said, no, that's Aleix design. Oh,
Yeah, I remember also after 1 year of this design, we started to use the chest protector. So it was like a piece of protection that you put it here. At the beginning, it was very uncomfortable, really, for the rider. And it was like black because it was the beginning. And then they arrived with the design with the 3 hands here. So I really love it.
So now you're a test rider for Honda. You're a professional bicycle rider as well. It was another dream.
Yes. Yeah.
That's crazy. You're the first one to do that, no?
That's crazy, and I'm crazy. This is part of my life. As I told you before, 2016, I started to cycle a lot, and especially from 2020, 21, it become an obsession. Cycling, I love so much. So when I had this momentum in Jerez, when I crashed, I said to Laura, I think if I stop now, I can try to fulfill my next dream, that is to become a professional cyclist. I know that I'm already quite old to do that, but thankful of my career in MotoGP that I have let's say a name, maybe for the sponsorship, for marketing, it can be interesting for some cycling teams. So I talked with a few teams and they were super interesting. Little Trek was like, okay, yeah, we can do it tomorrow if you want. So it was the last pushing to stop my career in MotoGP. And last year I did some professional races. It's completely another world. It's the hardest thing I ever did in my life. Is super, super, super difficult. But I'm very happy because, it's also very historic to jump from MotoGP to pro cycling. It's crazy. It's like to play from Barca or Real Madrid and then to race Formula 1, so it's crazy thing, but I'm very proud.
So you want to do like races like Giro, Tour de France?
Now this is the peak, I did a few races also with for example, my first race was the Tour of Austria. I raced with against Del Toro. Del Toro almost won the Giro 2 months after. So I raced in the highest class, but not the best races at all, because you cannot imagine how fast they are.
I can imagine, because I'm riding a bit and you're quite fast.
Yeah.
Already. Yeah, sure. Okay. Tour de France is really, really, really high, and
I think it's enough now. I think I need to relax a bit.
yeah, and have a life, just
Yeah, exactly.
and you are the only one to make that transition.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Is the sports are completely different. A lot the cyclists, especially my teammates in Little Trek, they love MotoGP. They always do a lot of questions. What is the similarity? I say no one. I mean, just on the downhill, the feeling of the speed, the lines, but also the position, everything, and then it's different. And then especially physically is another world. Cycling is the hardest sport ever.
But I was thinking, I heard by Jan that you started late. I was thinking that you was doing bicycle since you was born.
No. I started cycling when I was, I think, 24, 25.
And what you was doing before?
I was running, but in 2014, I had a big crash in Germany, in Sachsenring with the Moto 2. I destroyed 2 vertebrae. So the doctor said to me, impact is not the best, no more running. Actually, I had a lot of pain when I ran. So I started cycling just for fun, and then it became an obsession. Yeah.
And what do you think about, it's just a question in my mind, about the safety on bikes, real bikes, not motorbikes, because I feel like really naked compared to bike, and the speed are quite high.
Yes, actually it's scary because you have no protection. The problem is that if in MotoGP the weight is very important, and I'm really obsessed with the weight. For me, it's one of the most important things. I push not just IXON, but also Honda a lot on the weight. I remember the first test with Honda that I said, can you put the bike on scale? And we changed the fairing, we changed the swing arm. I said, can you get the bike on the scale? And the Japanese engineers were like, it never happened this before with no one rider I say yes, but the inertia of the bike, the weight is super important. So you want to control this. So imagine in cycling. In cycling is everything. If you can drop 1 kilo, is 12, 15 watts on the ascent climb. So it's super important. So it's really a big fight with the safety. And unfortunately, when you crash with the bicycle, you pay.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
Finger
Maybe
crossed.
IXON can develop some super light jersey with some protection. I think it's difficult, but
Okay, let's go to the next challenge.
I know that you're also passionate about cars. We have the same passion in common, really analog car, if we can say that. We have like a wonderful 355 Ferrari just next to us.
Yep.
What is the beginning of this passion? It was from your childhood?
I always love cars, always from the beginning. I remember that when I signed for a Suzuki was my first contract, and the first thing that I did was to buy my first nice car. And from that moment, I fell in love with cars.
Which one was the first nice car?
The 458 Speciale, you know?
Yeah.
I sell
good.
it and I really regret because now it's 10 times worth it, that car. But it was, the first, let's say, big car. And from that moment, I love cars. I always sell one, buy another, and play a little bit. And the last 2-3 years, I start to get a little bit boring of really modern, fast cars. And I bought, when I won the first race of my life, I bought the 993 Turbo. When I won in Argentina, I rebuilt it and I call it Dream. I put everywhere the day of Argentina. I put Dream everywhere. And it was like a reminder of that the dreams can come true. And from that moment, I start to enjoy really the analog cars, and I start to enjoy and to have fun driving that cars. And I also understood that it was a good investment because the value of the modern cars is dropping every time. And on the other hand, the classic cars, if you know which cars you have to buy, you can have fun and you can have a good investment for the future. And I think I also, as Thierry said, the rider and the entrepreneur life is quite similar. And when I stop racing, I start to see a little bit more the future. So I have a lot of fun now with the classic cars, yes.
And you have like targets of classic cars?
I became crazy fan of Porsche a lot. 355 is like the black sheep because it's the only one not Porsche, and the other ones are always Porsche. I love the heritage of Porsche. I love the driving feeling, and I have really nice and special cars.
Okay, so maybe in quite, let's say, few years, the next years, you will have a lot of classic Porsches.
Yeah, I already have a nice collection. I would like to have more, but my wife is stopping me. Luckily, he's controlling me as always, taking care of my life, and I have really nice collection. I will like always to improve, but I'm happy with the ones that I have. And the good thing is that I never buy let's say a perfect car. I buy a car with some mileage and then I rebuild, and it's like my car, And I always said that I never will sell it because it's gonna be like a heritage for my kids. And I have fun.
And Thierry, have you got like a secret passion other than motorcycles?
So I should say that cars is typical riders.
Yeah, it's typical.
Typical for riders. So when you're an entrepreneur, cars are not the first things that you want to invest. You invest in another part. Soccer. I was destiny of soccer. My destiny was soccer. So my two boys was playing soccer at the national level. So we follow soccer. Yesterday we came from a dinner. There was the Paris Saint-Germain playing. So I was looking at the Paris Saint-Germain. So it's like I love running. My sport is running. And on the side of that, I share the soccer passion, which is number 2. The first one is motorcycle.
So you can be traveling around the world to see a soccer match?
No.
You don't have time.
Time is not enough.
Yeah, that's right.
Time is not enough. But that's true. that my two boys are living around the country, and they can call me, say, "What are you doing tomorrow? Are you here? Please come join us to see the match." Doesn't matter the team, so
To
it
escape,
happened.
yeah, sure.
It happened. But the first passion is motorcycle. Then I should say running. That doesn't matter what you are doing, rider or entrepreneur. You need a way to push out,
Escape. Yes.
escape of
100%.
your daily things. So Aleix have his own. On my side is running, and you can find some ideas during running or after the shower. So it works.
Sport is the best medicine in the world.
True, I agree with you because it got impact on you, impact on me. But I know some people that reading is their escape way. So even it's hard to understand, but everybody have his own way. The most important is to find
it. Yeah.
To find it. So it's
Okay,
my
so
passion on the side.
My question is Cristiano or Messi?
Zidane.
Zidane. Okay. Political one. Okay. We like Zidane both.
It's not. Yeah, I mean, it's almost the same century, but yeah, it's the good answer actually.
It's a good answer.
Yeah,
it's a good answer.
You know, to finish the podcast, I always have let's say the same question. It's what can we wish you for the future? I mean, for you personally, for IXON, for your career, for everything. I mean,
So the question is quite important because we will have the same reply at first is to be happy in family. To be happy. That's the base of our life. Both of us, without our wife, without our kids, we are nobody, or we believe we are nobody. So that's the first target, to be honest, because you can't change. You are father, I'm father. That's for life. You can change your sports. You can change your company. So that's the first wish I should wish to both of us, to be happy in the life, to see our kids growing, not to help them because we don't have to push so much, and we would love them to be happy in the life as parents. And then at business side, for sure, we come back to performance, we come back to target. So it's not the same story. And then on our side, the best wish is to go on our growth, and we have targets. We want to be one of the first one, but one of the top brand in the world. And we still have
Already?
We are same as you. When you win a podium, you want more.
Yes, true.
So that you want always more. What is behind is not important. Look at tomorrow.
If we compare to the beginning of IXON, how many people are you now?
So I mean, there was one man at first.
Yeah.
So yeah, one man at first.
And your mom.
And my mom.
Yeah, that's true.
And my mom.
Investor.
And also a colleague who was working with me before. So I mean, we was very small, and today is 500 people around the world. We got 6 companies around the world, totally dedicated to the French brand, to IXON. And if we give you a number, is every 20 seconds in the world, one item sold. So that's many items sold in the year, per month, per week. And yeah, that's an adventure. We still have things to do. So what was the past? That's the past. And we can write stories with that, but look at future. We still have things. Again, athletes and rider, we look at what will be tomorrow, not behind. I leave you the reply.
mirror just for cars, yeah.
I leave you the reply now.
No, it's true. For me, I don't care if in the next year or in the near future I will be cycling, collecting cars, or testing for Honda, or maybe I will be in love of reading. I will move to Andorra, to Bali. But to me, it's to stay with my family. This has been always my dream, to share my life with my best friend, which is Laura. And I just want to not change anything. I love my life, really. It's the life that I create, the life that I dream. I want to continue like this. And for me, the most important thing in life, and when you realize you are on the right path, is when the people ask me, what is happiness? What makes you happy? You know, happiness to me is when you go to sleep and you can wait to wake up next day. And because it means that you love your life. That doesn't matter what you're doing, doesn't matter how good you are at anything, but you want to wake up to do again your life. And this is what's happening right now to me. I'm loving it right now, and I hope I can stay like this more years.
I hope for you both, and thank you for your time, because this moment was crazy. I mean, great. It was perfect, actually.
And I hope, one thing that I hope, I was very close, but I was not able to win a MotoGP title, and I can't wait to see I can't really wait to see IXON winning a MotoGP title, and I think they are close. The competitors are very high, because we are fighting against big
Thank you for your
brands.
time. See you
But
soon.
I hope one day we can win a title.
That's the target. We are on the way. And there is no question. For sure we will. For sure we will.
For sure we will. I like this answer. I like this answer. We will.
Thank you so much, Jan. Thank you. And thank you,
Thank you.
Aleix. Thank you so much.
Thank you.